The American mind cannot comprehend what's going on around me. This isn't a party, it's not even a planned event. It's just what happens every afternoon here in Barcelona, Spain. After school and work, people come out to squares like this to hang out, get work done while their kids play with friends, socialize, interact with acquaintances or true friends and neighbors, and there's a huge social and economic benefit to that. Now the square I was at is right here behind me, but just a block away, through that passageway, is another square. Let's go there. Now, why is this significant? Raj Chetty, a professor at Harvard, published a study showing that the number one indicator for whether or not someone will break out of poverty is something he calls economic connectedness, or relationships with people in different social classes other than their poor social class. And this is something that I found to be personally true. It was my rich friends' parents who asked me about the SATs and whether or not I was studying for them, or what college I thought I was going to, and helped me become more future-oriented. Now in America, we have a loneliness epidemic, and part of it is due to our built environment. You see, these public squares are an example of what some people call third places. They're not work, your first place, they're not home, your second place, but they're a third place where you interact with acquaintances and friends. In America, these third places are dwindling as religion and church is having less a significant impact in Americans' lives, but also third places are disappearing because of zoning laws, which keep separating the different types of activity that you have in a city to the point of every activity has to be intentionally planned. And what third places we do have in America, things like coffee shops or bars and cafes, they're paid third places that just aren't very accessible for people who are poor, at least on a regular basis. But it's this economic connectedness that could be one of the best things to help alleviate poverty, all without requiring government programs. Now, why does it happen here in Spain? Well, of course, there's a culture for it, but more than that, there's an environment that's conducive to it. If I want my kids to have social activity, a lot of it requires a play date. And being an introvert, I don't like putting things on the calendar where I have to interact with people. And if I show up meaning to meet up with someone, I'm going to have to talk to them. But here, I could put my head down at a cafe, order a beer while my kid plays 20 feet away. In fact, we witnessed this at a square the other day. We got there for dinner, it was full of kids teeming with life, and we gradually saw the demographics change until it was just older people at night enjoying the bar. And later on, I walked by one of these squares at 11 p.m. on a weekday, and it looked like this. Social capital, or the interconnected relationships society has, is built on chance encounters, running into people in a moment, not having to plan every outing and get-together. And if your suburb neighborhood has this is great, but it's the exception, not the rule. And it's not enough to live in an urban environment. You can still be lonely there too. It has to be an environment built around humans connecting to other humans. Even transit in this type of city is one in which you'll run into people. So yeah, there's a loneliness epidemic, but other places are doing better, and we could